Hello and welcome to Zero Cool Gaming and today's long play of Reckoning. Don't know where I'm going, but we'll figure it out. I'm trying to find excuse me. I'm trying to find a quest that I can complete rather quickly. And I'm pretty sure that I have one here. So we'll go ahead and do that one. It's Alright, hold on a second. Alright, let's continue on. Yeah, something blew in as I was breathing in. So, ow. I'm gonna finish this one real quick. So today I'm gonna talk about a film, and it's actually a type of film that I don't normally enjoy or even watch. Ow. Okay. That hurts.
Interesting. You're not at all what I expected to find here. I trailed a band of Tuatha to this place. They killed the Fate Weaver.
Okay, so
Give me an idea of why they were here. Now I know.
I'm talking about a horror movie. And that horror movie is called They. It was made in 2002.
Oh, no reason. At least not one you have to worry about. If I'd interfered, the Tuatha would know I was tracking them. This Fate Weaver wasn't worth losing valuable information. But the Tuatha are still
Excuse
on the
me.
move. I must go.
And
We will see one another again.
it's an interesting
Soon.
show,
Be
not
on your way.
necessarily because of the show itself, but because of the concept that it covers. And the concept that it covers is about, wow, this is pretty major problem with the graphics in here. Anyway. Is basically a concept. How do I explain this? Kind of like the fears that you have when you're a kid. I don't know about every kid, but I know I had unrealistic fears as a child. There were days that I would jump into the bed because of something that might be under the bed, or thought that I saw something moving in the closet. These sorts of things. Actually, how I broke myself of that was just sleeping in the closet one night. course, nothing happened, and, you know, other than a stiff neck in the morning. But that's kind of how I broke myself of those fears.
Arden's dead. How did this happen?
And this particular show plays on those fears. In fact, that's what it is about. You know, it's a what if horror. What if those fears were justified?
Why would they have come here?
That's kind of where that
harmless old fate weaver?
horror movie goes with
They
it.
couldn't know that you were headed here. I mean,
And then how would you
stingy
deal
bastard
with
owes
that
me a
as
week
an
of
adult?
drinks. Doesn't mean you deserve to be murdered. I was hoping to avoid this, but I think I'm going to have to take you to Delok.
And you know, they have their stories on why that's only, you know, certain people, this, that, and the other. The concept is terrifying, truly. And I think that's why the story stuck with me for the rest of my life.
It's a sacred
You know,
place
last
to
20
fate
years.
weavers.
Um,
Somewhere that I was hoping to avoid.
22 years.
I was hoping
20
Arden
years.
could take you,
Yeah,
but
it was
I guess it
23.
comes down to me.
Or,
No
you know what
reason
I'm saying.
getting anyone else killed over it.
But
No,
yeah,
I'll meet
because
you there. Once I give Arden a proper funeral. This is twice now.
it
I've
played
buried
on
the
those
bodies
fears,
left in your
truly.
wake.
So pretty crazy in that respect. Did they do a good job of it? Well, they didn't do a bad job of it, obviously. I mean, it is pretty entertaining. Terrifying as well, but entertaining. Excuse me. What's one of the more, I mean, how do I explain this? I don't like horror shows because they give me nightmares. This one didn't actually give me nightmares, but I did remember it for 20 years later. Like I just watched it yesterday. It stuck with me, is a way of putting it. And that's not a bad thing. I mean, do I remember the individual conversations of the show? No. I do remember most of the story beats, you know, how it started. The midpoint, the end. Wow. That's a long way away. Okay. And that in and of itself is a plus in my book. Because a lot of shows I forget a lot about them after about 10 years. And not this one. And I feel no need to watch it again in that respect. Truly. But it doesn't mean that I didn't enjoy the show. I greatly enjoyed it. I thought it was great. One of the best shows I had watched in a long time. Absolutely terrifying. And understand, this is coming from somebody who doesn't watch horror movies. So my level of tolerance for what constitutes a horror show is pretty mild. my, understanding of what is scary in that respect is also pretty mild when it comes to horror movies.
What's this?
Because I don't watch them. And that's truly because I don't like it's not that I don't like being scared, that doesn't bother me. I don't like I guess the bloody, gory jump scare type horrors. I don't watch those. I can't watch them. I suppose if I desensitize myself by forcing myself to watch them repeatedly, maybe, that would change. But I have no desire to do something like that. So my idea of a good horror movie is actually a good thriller. Something that gets you thinking, not necessarily something that actually scares you. And They is not a movie that's gory or bloody or there are jump scares in it, but they're kept to a minimum. Most of the horror in that show, if you want to call it that, is mental. It's applied. It comes from you, from within you, in that respect, and how you process what's happening. Okay. And the way that I processed it, was truly terrifying. Because the way I processed it was, well, what if there is something that was there and it just didn't want to eat me, or whatever it is that it does with those that it takes. That's terrifying. Now, don't get me wrong, I know it's not real, but the thought is terrifying, at least to me. And part of that has to do with the I have a pretty wild imagination. And I like having a pretty wild imagination. I may not be able to, what's the word I'm looking for? I should say I'm not any good at visualizing that imagination, bringing that visualization to life. But just, visualizing it in general, yeah, I'm pretty good at that. I have a pretty wild imagination for that type of stuff. So it makes me easy to visualize things like that. Well, he's running somewhere. Oh. Ew. I gotta go back. Interesting. Very interesting. I have no idea what's actually there. Because it is literally right around the corner. It's a cave. Or ruins. Okay. So yeah, Prey. Or not Prey. They, T-H-E-Y, is yeah, it's one of those rare horror movies that I'm willing to watch. And it's because of the theme of the movie, the aspects of that movie. Not necessarily the horror of that movie itself. Okay, well, I guess it doesn't matter at this point. Oh, that hurt. Shooting. I've heard that before. I think we end up having to fight quite a few of these. Well, these guys I can at least take on. And apparently I've only taken out one of them? No, two. Okay, it just takes a while for it to update. Truly what I need to do is go back and get rid of junk in my inventory. Yeah, I need to do that. So I'll come back to this. Because yes, I have junk in my inventory. And I need to get rid of all that stuff. It's very easy to forget what you need to do in this game as well. Even though it's an easy game, all you gotta do is follow the circles. You know, I hate reducing this game to that, but that's not my fault. That's what the developers did to it. And I'm sure that had a lot to do with their, you know, charts and graphs and whatever that says, this is what people want. And while I have no doubt that their charts and graphs were correct, the company that made this went bankrupt because they couldn't sell enough of them. And I don't think it's just because it reduces the gamer to an idiot, because it does. You need no brain to play this. They were targeting the wrong audience with it.
A nice cut of meat just fell into our laps. Well, so I don't want to think you've stumbled on our camp by accident. Go on, ask. Ask to... Well, I see. Why join? You want riches? We'll help you take them. You want fame? I thought by the look, but some feel...
Okay, that's a bunch of thieves, I believe. Or something like that. And I'm going the wrong direction. Totally going the wrong direction anyway. So yeah, because they reduced it to that, and that's what MMOs do. A lot of MMOs. You know, follow the pixie dust. Or, you know, follow the line in your circle around you that shows you the direction you need to travel. All of these things truly reduce the player's,
Good day.
I'm not going to say overall enjoyment of the game, but subconsciously we're, I don't think gamers are idiots, to be quite honest with you. So subconsciously or consciously we realize what they've done and we don't like it. I think people like to be challenged. And when you give the illusion of a challenge, eventually that stops being convincing. It might work the first time, might work the second time, but eventually you're not going to convince anybody with it. And I'm not saying that to be mean, I'm saying that because this game is a product of that fact. When you reduce the player to their lowest common denominator, meaning to where anyone can play it and there is no challenge, people will quickly lose interest in it. The vast majority of them. I don't hate this game. I know. I think it's a pretty fun game. I think it's pretty cool. I enjoy it. But I know that this game does not...
I help you? Can I help you?
It in no way encourages me to learn anything. It in no way is going to prevent me from beating it. Excuse me, and in fact, in most cases, the game will actively show and teach me how to get through it without having to actually learn anything. It will help me to beat it throughout its entirety. Anyway, that's my rant for the day. And I hope you enjoy the rest of yours. If you could, hit the like, rumble, and subscribe button. It helps. Hit the buttons down below.